My friends, the future does not lie outside of you. It lies within, hidden in symbols, images, and fragments of desire that your conscious mind barely grasps. To map your future is not to plan with mere logic, but to converse with the language of the soul. A vision board is not cardboard and pictures. It is the mirror of the unconscious, a dialogue between who you are and who you are yet to become. When you create a vision board, you are not simply arranging cutouts. You are arranging destiny. You are projecting the archetypal images of your own becoming onto a canvas, so that your psyche may guide you through the chaos of time. Strategy without soul becomes calculation, but vision infused with symbols becomes transformation. The board is a sacred map, reminding you of the path when shadows tempt you to forget. Every image is a fragment of your inner self calling for manifestation. Every word placed is a mantra against despair. You do not build your future by accident, you summon it, shape it, and align it with the eternal currents within. A vision board is far more than a collection of images, colors, and words arranged on a piece of cardboard or a digital canvas. It is the very blueprint of the soul, a sacred reflection of your deepest desires, your hidden potentials, and the paths your psyche longs to follow. Each picture, each phrase, each symbol is a fragment of the self speaking to you from beneath the surface of conscious thought. When you engage with a vision board, you are not simply entertaining idle dreams. You are giving form to the unconscious currents that shape your destiny. The board becomes a bridge between the internal and external worlds, translating the intangible yearnings of your spirit into tangible guidance for action. In this way, it is both map and compass, guiding you through the chaos of daily life while keeping your attention focused on the trajectory of your becoming. A vision board is the soul's blueprint because it externalizes the inner architecture of your aspirations, creating a space where imagination, intention, and purpose converge. By interacting with it daily, you allow your unconscious to align with your conscious goals, awakening the latent power within you to bring your future into existence. It is not decoration. It is a living manifestation of your potential, a mirror reflecting the greatness already seated within you. Symbols speak where logic is silent, because they reach into the depths of the psyche where words and reasoning cannot penetrate. Logic deals with the surface, with linear cause and effect, but the soul communicates in images, metaphors, and archetypal forms that carry meaning beyond explanation. A symbol can awaken a dormant desire, illuminate a hidden fear, or ignite a creative spark in a way that data and analysis never can. When you look at an image on your vision board, your mind does not merely register a picture, it resonates with the energy it represents, connecting conscious intention with unconscious wisdom. Symbols bypass resistance, bypass doubt, and speak directly to the part of you that knows your true potential. They are the language of dreams, the grammar of transformation, and the compass that guides your growth when rational thought falters. Logic can plan steps, but it cannot awaken the inner fire. Symbols awaken the fire, and in doing so, illuminate the path toward manifestation, integration, and the unfolding of the self. To map your future, first map your inner world, for the outer journey is always a reflection of the inner landscape. The roads you will walk, the achievements you will pursue, and the relationships you will cultivate are all mirrored in the depths of your psyche. Before you attempt to shape your destiny, you must become intimately familiar with the hidden chambers of your mind. The fears that constrain you, the desires that propel you, and the archetypal patterns that quietly guide your choices. Your inner world is rich with symbols, memories, and intuitions that, if understood, can serve as a compass for your external life. Mapping it requires reflection, honesty, and a willingness to confront the shadow aspects of yourself that often go unseen. Once you understand the contours of your inner terrain, you can chart a course in the external world that aligns with your authentic self, rather than being led by circumstance or external expectation. In essence, the future cannot be mapped in isolation from the soul. It emerges naturally from the consciousness that has been explored, understood, and nurtured. Your vision board becomes the tool through which the inner map is translated into tangible direction, guiding you step by step toward the life your deepest self already knows is possible. To map your future, first map your inner world, for the course of your life is not determined solely by external circumstances, but by the intricate landscape of your own psyche. Every decision, every aspiration, every step you take is rooted in the unseen depths within. the currents of desire, the shadows of fear, the echoes of past experiences, and the whispers of your higher self. To attempt to navigate the external world without understanding this inner terrain is like setting sail without a compass or chart. You may move, but you will drift without true direction. Mapping your inner world requires courage, introspection, and an unwavering willingness to confront both light and shadow. It demands that you face the fears that hold you back, recognize the patterns that unconsciously shape your choices, and honor the impulses that are authentic to your being. In doing so, you illuminate the hidden forces that influence your life, transforming uncertainty into clarity. Only when the contours of your inner landscape are understood can you create a vision of the future that aligns with your true self. Your inner map becomes the foundation for strategic growth, guiding your actions, shaping your intentions, and ensuring that the life you construct externally is a natural extension of the self you have come to know deeply. In this way, the journey outward becomes a mirror of the journey inward, and your vision board transforms from mere aspiration into a living map of both soul and destiny. The unconscious responds to symbols, not statistics, because it speaks a language that is poetic, imaginal, and profoundly intuitive, rather than linear and analytical. While the conscious mind may be drawn to numbers, charts, and data to make sense of the world, the unconscious recognizes meaning through images, metaphors, and archetypal forms that resonate with the deepest layers of the self. When you confront a problem or envision a goal, presenting mere facts may inform your intellect, but it does not move the soul. A symbol, an image on a vision board, a phrase that touches your heart, a motif that stirs your imagination, awakens dormant energies, elicits insight, and mobilizes the unconscious forces that shape your behavior and destiny. It is through symbols that intuition is triggered, creativity is awakened, and latent potential is brought into conscious expression. Statistics can tell you what is likely, but symbols tell you what is possible. Statistics describe the world as it is, but symbols reveal the world as it could be, aligning inner desire with outer manifestation. To truly influence growth and transformation, one must speak in the language the unconscious understands, for it is here, in the interplay of image, feeling, and instinct, that true change begins, and where vision boards become sacred tools, translating the silent language of the psyche into concrete steps toward a realized future. A vision board is a dialogue with destiny because it transforms the abstract yearnings of the soul into tangible, visible expressions that can be contemplated, engaged with, and acted upon. It is not a one-way act of wishful thinking. It is a conversation between your conscious intentions and the unconscious forces that shape your life. Each image, each word, each symbol you place on your board becomes a messenger, carrying the whispers of your deepest self to the surface of awareness. In arranging these symbols, you are not simply crafting a plan. You are inviting destiny to participate in your creation, aligning your inner desires with the outer reality that waits to be molded. The board becomes a sacred space where the chaos of the future can be negotiated, where fears and hopes can meet, and where the unconscious can provide guidance that logic alone cannot offer. By returning to it regularly, you reinforce this dialogue, allowing the patterns of your destiny to emerge more clearly and with greater coherence. In essence, a vision board is the meeting place of potential and manifestation, a living conversation between who you are now and who you are meant to become. Through this dialogue, the unconscious conspires with conscious intention, and the threads of your life begin to weave themselves into a tapestry that reflects not only your ambitions, but the deepest truths of your soul. Strategic growth begins with symbolic alignment because true progress is not merely a matter of external planning or mechanical execution. It arises from the harmony between the inner psyche and the outer world. When your actions, goals, and ambitions are disconnected from your deeper self, they may produce results, but they lack sustainability, meaning, and resonance. Symbols, images, and archetypal representations on a vision board serve as the bridge between these realms, aligning your conscious strategy with the unconscious forces that shape your choices, motivations, and resilience. By engaging with these symbols, you tap into a language the soul understands, a language that guides, inspires, and corrects your trajectory even when conscious effort falters. Symbolic alignment ensures that your growth is not forced or superficial but flows naturally from the structure of your inner life, amplifying the impact of every action you take. In this way, Strategic planning becomes more than calculation. It becomes a living process infused with meaning, where every decision, every step, and every milestone is energized by the resonance of the self. When you align symbolically with your vision, your growth is guided not only by intelligence and skill, but by the deeper wisdom of your unconscious, creating a trajectory that is both powerful and authentic. Your board is the mirror of the self in becoming, because it reflects not merely what you desire in the external world, but the ongoing evolution of your inner being. It captures the dynamic interplay between who you are now and who you are destined to become, offering a tangible representation of your psychological and spiritual journey. Each image, phrase, or symbol you place upon it is a reflection of an aspect of yourself that seeks expression. Whether it is a hidden talent, an unacknowledged ambition, or an emerging value. By observing your board, you engage in a process of self-recognition, noticing patterns, desires, and archetypal energies that may have previously remained unconscious. This reflection allows you to consciously shape your development, making choices that harmonize with the trajectory of your growth, rather than reacting to circumstance alone. In essence, the vision board is both mirror and mapre. It shows you who you are in this moment while illuminating the path toward the fullest expression of your potential. It reminds you that becoming is not a static achievement, but a continuous unfolding of the self, and that every action you take, guided by the images on your board, is a step toward the integration of your inner and outer worlds. The board thus serves as a sacred tool, enabling you to witness, honor, and consciously direct the emergence of your authentic self. Every picture is a seed of transformation, because it carries within it the potential to awaken, inspire, and catalyze change in the deepest layers of your being. When you place an image on your vision board, you are not merely decorating a space. You are planting an idea, a possibility, a fragment of your future into the fertile soil of your unconscious. Like a seed, each picture contains latent energy. It may appear still, passive, or inert at first, but with attention, reflection, and engagement, it begins to grow. Your imagination nourishes it, your intention directs it, and your actions bring it closer to fruition. These images speak to the archetypal patterns within you, activating dormant potentials, aligning desires with purpose, and stimulating the inner processes that guide your development. Over time, the repeated contemplation of these pictures strengthens your connection to the visions they represent, shaping your thoughts, emotions, and decisions in ways that bring the abstract into tangible reality. Transformation is rarely instantaneous. It unfolds gradually, silently, like a seed breaking through the soil toward the sun. Each image on your board participates in this process, quietly urging you toward growth, reminding you of what is possible, and compelling you to align your life with the latent potentials it embodies. In this sense, every picture is not merely representation. It is an invitation, a promise, and a catalyst for the emergence of a fuller, more actualized self. Without vision, strategy becomes blind calculation because actions divorced from meaning lack direction and soul. One may plan meticulously, analyze data, and organize steps with precision. Yet without an overarching vision, these efforts are like wandering through a dark forest without a compass. Efficient perhaps, but ultimately lost. Vision is the light that illuminates the path ahead, providing context, purpose, and coherence to every decision. It connects the logical, sequential mind to the deeper currents of desire and destiny within the self, ensuring that every plan is not only effective but also aligned with your authentic growth. A strategy without vision may achieve temporary gains, but it will fail to cultivate fulfillment, integration, or the long-term flourishing of the individual. Vision transforms abstract calculations into meaningful movement. It infuses numbers, timelines, and steps with intention, connecting action to aspiration. By engaging both conscious planning and unconscious insight, a vision allows strategy to become more than technique. It becomes an expression of the self moving purposefully toward its fullest realization. In essence, without vision, strategy acts in isolation. But with vision, strategy becomes a guided instrument of transformation, harmonizing effort with destiny and turning calculated steps into meaningful progress along the path of becoming. Your psyche needs images to navigate chaos, because the human mind is as not to find order in the whirlwind of life through logic alone. When events are unpredictable, when emotions surge, and when the future appears uncertain, the conscious mind can become overwhelmed, grasping for control and clarity. It is here that images, Symbols, archetypes, and visual representations act as beacons, providing orientation and guidance. They translate the complexity of inner and outer experience into forms the unconscious can recognize and respond to, allowing you to move through uncertainty with awareness rather than panic. A vision board, filled with carefully chosen images and words, serves as a sanctuary in this chaos. It organizes not external circumstances, but internal perception, offering your psyche fixed points to anchor itself amidst the shifting tides of life. These images speak directly to your unconscious, activating intuition, creativity, and inner resilience that mere reasoning cannot summon. By engaging with them regularly, you cultivate a mental and emotional landscape capable of responding to chaos with flexibility and purpose. In this way, images become the maps by which your psyche navigates the unknown, turning disorder into opportunity, confusion into insight, and the unpredictable currents of life into a journey guided by the deeper wisdom of the self. Desire without form dissolves. Desire with symbol crystallizes because the human mind and soul require a vessel through which longing can take shape and gain direction. Raw desire, unarticulated and formless, is fleeting. It drifts like smoke in the wind, beautiful yet insubstantial, unable to anchor action or inspire consistent growth. When a desire is given symbolic form, through images, words, or archetypal representations, it gains structure, clarity, and resonance. A vision board, for example, does not merely capture what you want. It transforms abstract longing into a tangible presence that your conscious and unconscious minds can interact with. Each symbol acts as a crystallization point, concentrating energy, focus, and intention into a coherent whole that guides thought and action. This process allows the unconscious to recognize and respond to the desire, activating latent potentials and aligning behaviors with purpose. Without symbols, longing remains ephemeral, easily forgotten or overridden by circumstance. With symbols, it becomes a living blueprint, force that informs decisions, fuels persistence, and shapes destiny. In this way, desire is not merely wished for. It is embodied, made real, and given the power to manifest through the interplay of mind, soul, and action. A board anchors dreams into reality because it transforms fleeting thoughts and intangible hopes into something tangible that can be seen, touched, and interacted with daily. Dreams, when left unexamined or unexpressed, remain in the realm of fantasy. They flicker briefly in the mind and then vanish under the pressures of routine, doubt, or distraction. A vision board, however, serves as a fixed point, a physical manifestation of your intentions and aspirations. It provides a place where the unconscious and conscious minds can meet, where your deepest desires are given form and held before your awareness. By engaging with it regularly, you remind yourself of what you are striving toward, reinforcing commitment and focus, and allowing the energy of intention to crystallize into actionable steps. The board acts as an anchor, preventing your dreams from drifting aimlessly in the currents of distraction or fear. It translates abstract possibility into concrete motivation, ensuring that each day, each choice, each effort is aligned with the larger vision you have set for yourself. In essence, a vision board does more than display desires, it grounds them in reality, transforming hope into purpose, and imagination into lived experience, creating a bridge between the world you envision and the life you are actively constructing. The unconscious remembers what the conscious forgets because it serves as the vast repository of all experiences, impressions, and insights that your conscious mind cannot fully hold. While the conscious mind filters, selects, and often discards information based on immediate relevance, the unconscious preserves the essence of what shapes you. Your dreams, your fears, your archetypal patterns, and the hidden currents of desire and potential. This is why symbols, images, and vision boards are so powerful. They speak directly to the unconscious, awakening memories, intuitions, and capacities that might otherwise remain dormant. What you forget in daily life, your true aspirations, the lessons of subtle experiences, the steerings of your higher self, are not lost, they are quietly held, waiting for a means of expression or recognition. By engaging with symbolic representations of your goals and inner truths, you give the unconscious an opportunity to bring these latent forces into conscious awareness, guiding decisions, inspiring action, and aligning your life with the deeper trajectory of your development. In this way, the unconscious acts as both guardian and guide, ensuring that nothing essential to your growth is truly lost, and reminding you that the seeds of your future have already been sown within the hidden depths of your psyche. The vision board, then becomes a tool not merely of planning but of remembrance, a way to call forth the wisdom of the unconscious to shape the unfolding of your life. Rituals of imagery strengthen your will because they create a repeated, conscious engagement with the symbols, visions, and aspirations that define your path. The human mind thrives on repetition and pattern. When you consistently return to images that embody your goals, you are not merely observing, they become embedded in your psyche, shaping thought, emotion, and intention. This engagement transforms passive desire into active commitment. Each act of placing, arranging, or contemplating an image is a small ritual that reinforces focus, clarity, and alignment with your deeper purpose. Over time, these rituals cultivate discipline, resilience, and a sense of responsibility toward your own growth, because the repeated encounter with your visions trains the mind and soul to recognize obstacles not as insurmountable barriers, but as challenges to be met with intention and awareness. Rituals of imagery also bridge the conscious and unconscious realms, ensuring that your will is not only informed by reason but energized by the deep currents of your inner life. In this way, your repeated attention to symbolic representations of your goals strengthens both resolve and direction, making the pursuit of your dreams an intentional, empowered process rather than a series of reactive or scattered efforts. A vision board, when treated as a ritual, becomes more than a tool. It becomes a daily act of self-alignment, a reinforcement of purpose, and a practice that channels the energies of the unconscious toward the realization of your fullest potential. Rituals of imagery strengthen your will because they transform abstract intentions into lived, embodied practice. The human psyche thrives on repetition and deliberate engagement, and when you return regularly to images that embody your aspirations, you are training not just the mind, but the deeper currents of the unconscious to align with your purpose. Each act, placing a picture, arranging a phrase, pausing to reflect on a symbol, becomes a sacred gesture, a small but potent ritual that fortifies your focus, sharpens your intention, and reinforces the connection between desire and action. Over time, these rituals cultivate resilience and determination, because the repeated engagement with your visions trains your will to persist even when distractions, doubts, or setbacks arise. Rituals of imagery bridge the conscious and unconscious, allowing the latent energy of the psyche to enter the service of your goals, guiding choices, shaping behavior, and subtly but powerfully influencing your actions toward realization. Through this consistent practice, your will is not imposed through force or effort alone, it is strengthened organically, nourished by the alignment of mind, heart, and soul. A vision board, when used as a ritual, becomes a living instrument of empowerment, a daily conversation with the self, and a continuous reinforcement of the inner strength needed to manifest your dreams into reality. A vision board is an altar to your highest potential because it transforms intention into sacred practice, giving form and reverence to the deepest aspirations of your soul. It is not merely a collection of images or words. It is a consecrated space where the conscious and unconscious converge, where your desires, values, and latent abilities are honored and made visible. Each element you place on the board represents a facet of your potential, a symbol of what you are capable of becoming when you align with your true self. By returning to this altar regularly, contemplating the images, meditating on the words, and feeling the energy they evoke, you are participating in a ritual of self-recognition and empowerment. The board invites you to step into the life you are capable of, reminding you daily that your potential is not hypothetical. It exists already within you, waiting to be expressed. It calls forth the courage, creativity, and discipline required to bring that potential into tangible reality, serving as both inspiration and guide. In essence, the vision board as altar elevates your practice of goal, setting into an act of devotion to your own growth, a conscious acknowledgement that the self is sacred, and that your journey toward actualization is worthy of reverence, attention, and unwavering commitment. Growth without vision is movement without direction because progress in itself is meaningless if it is not guided by awareness of where one truly wishes to go. One may acquire skills, accumulate experiences, and achieve milestones, yet without a clear vision, these efforts are scattered, lacking coherence and deeper purpose. Vision provides the lens through which growth is not only measured but also understood. It illuminates the path, aligns actions with intention, and ensures that development is purposeful rather than accidental. Without it, movement becomes a series of disconnected events, like a river flowing without a channel, powerful yet chaotic, impressive yet ultimately unproductive. A vision anchors growth, giving it form and direction, and allows each step to contribute meaningfully to the unfolding of the self. It transforms activity into strategy, effort into creation, and aspiration into realized potential. By integrating vision with action, growth becomes not merely accumulation but transformation, ensuring that each achievement reflects the emergence of your authentic self. In this way, vision is the organizing principle that gives coherence and significance to the journey, turning raw movement into intentional progress toward a future consciously designed and actively lived. The future is not predicted. It is constructed, for it does not exist as a fixed entity waiting to be revealed, but as a living reality that emerges from the choices, intentions, and actions of the present. To wait for fate, circumstance, or chance is to surrender your power, to allow the currents of life to shape you passively rather than actively participating in your own becoming. Construction requires vision, deliberate action, and alignment between conscious intention and unconscious guidance. Each decision you make, each step you take, each image or symbol you focus on, contributes to the architecture of what is to come. The vision board becomes a blueprint in this process, a tangible manifestation of possibility that allows the unconscious to cooperate with conscious effort, bringing latent potential into reality. By consciously constructing your future, you transform the abstract into the concrete, the imagined into the lived, and the chaotic into the coherent. The act of creation demands courage, persistence, and clarity, but it empowers you to shape a life that reflects your authentic self rather than merely reacting to the world around you. In this way, the future is not a mystery to be foreseen. It is a canvas upon which you actively paint, a structure you deliberately build, and a reflection of the integration between your inner vision and outward action. Symbols summon courage in the face of doubt, because they speak directly to the deeper layers of the psyche, where reason alone often falters. When fear, uncertainty, or hesitation arises, the conscious mind may waver, searching for logical justification or proof that is often unavailable. Symbols, however, bypass the intellect and resonate with the archetypal structures within, evoking strength, clarity, and determination that arise from the unconscious itself. An image on a vision board, a phrase that resonates with the soul, or a motif representing an aspiration becomes a touchstone, reminding you of your potential, your past victories, and the inner resources that remain present even when the conscious mind is shaken. These symbols act as catalysts, awakening latent courage, inspiring action, and offering reassurance that the self is equipped to navigate challenges. In essence, they transform doubt from a paralyzing force into a prompt for engagement, providing a psychological anchor and a source of guidance. By regularly interacting with symbolic representations of your goals and values, you cultivate a resilience that is both conscious and unconscious, ensuring that fear does not dictate your choices. Symbols, therefore, are not mere decorations. They are instruments of empowerment, quietly summoning the courage needed to step forward, persist, and align action with purpose, even in the most uncertain moments. Images are the bridge between shadow and light, because they allow the hidden and often uncomfortable aspects of the psyche to be acknowledged, integrated, and transformed. The shadow contains all that we deny, repress, or fail to recognize in ourselves: fears, doubts, unfulfilled desires, and latent potentials that linger unseen yet exert powerful influence over our choices and actions. Light, on the other hand, represents conscious awareness, growth, and the expression of the self in alignment with its highest possibilities. Images, symbols, visual representations, and motifs placed on a vision board serve as mediators between these realms. They give form to the shadow, allowing it to be seen, understood, and ultimately integrated into conscious awareness. At the same time, they illuminate pathways toward light, inspiring courage, insight, and clarity. By engaging with these images regularly, we create a dialogue between the unconscious and the conscious, between hidden potential and realized intention. This bridge fosters wholeness, ensuring that neither shadow nor light is ignored, but that both contribute to the growth and transformation of the self. In essence, images are not mere representations. They are living conduits, enabling the psyche to reconcile conflict, transform fear into strength, and guide conscious action in harmony with the totality of one's being. Your vision board externalizes your inner archetypes, because it transforms the hidden forces, patterns, and potentials of your psyche into tangible forms that can be observed, reflected upon, and engaged with consciously. Archetypes. Those universal patterns of thought, behavior, and aspiration that reside within the collective individual unconscious often remain unseen, influencing your life quietly and indirectly. By selecting images, symbols, and phrases for your vision board, you give shape and visibility to these inner currents, allowing them to be acknowledged, interpreted, and integrated into your conscious experience. The warrior, the creator, the sage, the lover. Each archetypal energy can be represented and activated, guiding your choices, energizing your actions, and aligning your daily efforts with the deeper trajectory of the self. Externalizing these archetypes transforms abstract potentials into living companions on your journey, making the unconscious visible and available as a source of wisdom and direction. Your vision board thus becomes more than a tool for goal setting. It becomes a mirror of the psyche's deepest structures, a canvas where latent energies are given form, and a guide for navigating both the challenges and opportunities that arise along the path of individuation. By engaging consciously with these externalized archetypes, you allow the hidden dynamics of your inner world to harmonize with your outer actions, creating a life that is coherent, purposeful, and aligned with the full spectrum of your potential. A strategic growth requires both plan and picture, because true progress emerges not merely from meticulous planning or intellectual calculation, but from the alignment of these plans with the imaginative, symbolic, and intuitive aspects of the psyche. A plan organizes action, establishes steps, and defines measurable objectives. It is the scaffolding of progress. Yet without a picture, images, symbols, or visual representations of aspiration, strategy remains abstract, disconnected from the motivating forces of desire, purpose, and the unconscious guidance that shape authentic development. The vision board provides this picture, translating goals into visual and symbolic forms that engage the imagination and activate the latent energies of the psyche. When plan and picture work together, they create a dynamic interplay between conscious intention and unconscious insight. The plan directs effort, the picture inspires it, and together they ensure that growth is both structured and meaningful. This integration allows actions to be guided not only by reason and calculation, but also by vision and resonance with the self's deeper currents. Without either component, growth is incomplete. A plan without imagery risks sterility, while a picture without a plan risks ineffectiveness. Strategic growth, therefore, flourishes when structure and symbol are combined, creating a path where intention, creativity, and execution converge toward the realization of one's highest potential. To see your dream daily is to fuel it with energy, because repeated engagement with your vision strengthens the connection between your conscious mind, your unconscious, and the latent potential within you. Dreams and aspirations, when only vaguely imagined or occasionally recalled, remain ephemeral. They flicker briefly in thought but lack the sustaining force to shape reality. By witnessing your dream every day, whether through images, symbols, or words on a vision board, you continuously remind yourself of your intentions, reigniting motivation, focus, and emotional commitment. This daily attention acts like sunlight on a seed. It nourishes, strengthens, and activates growth, allowing your inner drive to gather momentum and translate into deliberate action. Each encounter with your dream reinforces neural pathways, aligns your desires with your decisions, and keeps the energy of possibility alive even amidst challenges or distractions. Moreover, the act of seeing your dream daily communicates to the unconscious that this vision is important, inviting it to mobilize hidden resources, intuition, and creativity to support its realization. In this way, daily engagement transforms passive hope into active power, ensuring that your dreams are not simply imagined but energetically charged and dynamically integrated into the fabric of your life, propelling you steadily toward manifestation and fulfillment. Vision boards remind you who you are when fear whispers, because they serve as a constant, tangible reflection of your highest intentions, deepest values, and latent potentials. Fear has a way of clouding perception, making doubt feel overwhelming and causing the mind to question its capacity for growth, success, or fulfillment. In these moments, the images and symbols on your vision board act as anchors, reconnecting you to the authentic self that exists beyond anxiety, hesitation, or self-doubt. Each picture, phrase, or symbol embodies aspects of your identity, reminding you of your strengths, your aspirations, and the deeper trajectory of your life that is guided by purpose rather than panic. By returning to your vision board, you realign with the clarity and courage that reside within, allowing the unconscious to reinforce your conscious resolve. It whispers to you in ways fear cannot. You are capable. You are aligned. You are on your path. The board functions as both a mirror and a map, reflecting not only who you are in essence, but also who you are becoming. In this way, when fear arises, the vision board becomes a sanctuary, a reminder that your power, your potential, and your true self remain intact, guiding you to act decisively, persistently, and with faith in the unfolding of your own destiny. The self unfolds through images before it manifests in action, because the unconscious mind communicates and organizes potential in symbolic form long before behavior takes shape in the external world. Every aspiration, latent talent, and archetypal energy exists first as an image, a vision, or a symbolic representation within the psyche. These images serve as templates, guiding the conscious mind and informing action with coherence, purpose, and alignment with the deeper currents of the self. Before you act, the self is already shaping, rehearsing, and orienting itself through these internal visualizations. It is in this symbolic realm that desires crystallize, intentions clarify, and the blueprint of transformation is established. A vision board captures this process, externalizing these formative images so that they may be observed, contemplated, and interacted with consciously, strengthening the alignment between inner potential and outward expression. By engaging regularly with such images, you allow the unconscious to work in concert with your conscious will, ensuring that actions are not random or purely reactive, but emerge naturally from the self's evolving design. In this way, the unfolding of the self through images precedes, informs, and energizes tangible action, creating a seamless bridge between inner vision and the lived reality of achievement, growth, and authentic self-expression. Every board is a prophecy written in symbols because it captures the hidden patterns, aspirations, and potentials of your psyche, translating them into a tangible form that can be seen, felt, and acted upon. A vision board does not merely display wishes or superficial goals. It records the unconscious trajectory of yourself, revealing what you are capable of becoming and the directions your life is likely to take when aligned with your inner truth. Each image, phrase, or symbol functions like a word in the language of the soul, carrying meaning beyond the rational mind and whispering possibilities that may not yet be consciously recognized. By interacting with your board regularly, you awaken these latent potentials, allowing the unconscious to guide and shape your decisions in ways that bring the symbolic prophecy closer to manifestation. In this sense, the board is both mirror and mapre. It reflects the inner dynamics of your psyche while pointing toward the life you are constructing through intention, action, and alignment. The prophecy contained in symbols is not deterministic, it is invitational, urging you to participate consciously in your own becoming. By honoring and engaging with these symbols, you give shape to the future, translating inner visions into reality, and ensuring that the story your life tells is one of conscious creation rather than passive circumstance. The greater your clarity, the stronger your magnetism, because the mind and soul, when aligned and focused, emit a force that draws circumstances, opportunities, and people into resonance with your intentions. Clarity is not merely intellectual understanding. It is the deep, conscious awareness of who you are, what you desire, and the path you are committed to walking. When you cultivate this clarity through symbolic engagement, such as with a vision board, you sharpen the image of your goals, define the contours of your aspirations, and illuminate the inner patterns that guide your decisions. This precision acts like a lodestone, attracting energies, resources, and allies that align with your purpose. Ambiguity, doubt, or scattered attention weakens influence and dissipates energy, while clear intention channels the forces of both the conscious and unconscious mind toward manifestation. Magnetism is born not from effort alone, but from coherence of the alignment of thought, feeling, and symbol in service of a defined vision. As your inner vision becomes precise, your presence, decisions, and actions carry an unmistakable force, drawing into your life the elements needed to realize your goals. In this way, clarity is more than understanding. It is the power to attract, focus, and manifest, turning the subtle currents of energy within you into tangible outcomes in the world. Vision boards transform passive hope into active will because they convert vague wishes and fleeting desires into visible, tangible representations that the mind and soul can engage with daily. Hope, when unanchored, drifts in the realm of possibility without direction, vulnerable to doubt, distraction, and inertia. A vision board, however, provides structure and form to that hope, turning it into a living instrument that calls for attention, reflection, and action. By interacting with the images, words, and symbols it contains, you enlist both conscious intention and unconscious energy in the pursuit of your goals. The board becomes a focal point, reminding you consistently of what matters most, energizing motivation, and fostering alignment between thought and behavior. In this way, hope ceases to be a passive emotion and becomes a dynamic force, a will infused with purpose, discipline, and vision. Each glance at your board, each moment of contemplation, strengthens commitment, sharpens focus, and activates latent potential within you. Through this process, the vision board functions as a bridge, transforming abstract aspiration into deliberate, energized pursuit, allowing your inner desires to take shape in the outer world with clarity, intention, and sustained momentum. When you map your vision, the unconscious conspires with you, because the mind is not divided between conscious and unconscious effort. Rather, the unconscious is a vast reservoir of insight, creativity, and latent potential that responds to the signals you give it. By externalizing your goals and aspirations, through images, symbols, or a vision board, you provide the unconscious with a tangible blueprint to work with. It begins to organize, prioritize, and subtly guide your decisions, offering intuitive nudges, unexpected opportunities, and solutions that conscious reasoning alone might never uncover. This collaboration is not mystical fantasy. It is the natural activation of inner resources that have always existed but often lie dormant until engaged intentionally. Mapping your vision clarifies intention and focus, giving the unconscious a structure through which it can act, aligning your actions, habits, and perceptions with your highest aims. The mind begins to notice patterns, coincidences, and pathways that facilitate progress, drawing circumstances and choices into harmony with your articulated purpose. In this way, the unconscious becomes an ally rather than an unseen force, conspiring silently to turn intention into reality. By consciously mapping your vision, you awaken this hidden partner, creating a dynamic interplay between intention and intuition, conscious planning and unconscious orchestration, ensuring that your path is not only purposeful but also richly supported by the deepest energies of your being. The future belongs to those who dare to give their soul an image, because vision without form remains invisible, intangible, and powerless to guide action. The soul is rich with desire, potential, and archetypal energies, yet it often drifts unnoticed unless called into focus. By daring to give it an image, through a vision board, symbolic representation, or intentional visualization, you make the inner landscape of your being visible, concrete, and actionable. This act is courageous because it requires honesty with oneself, the willingness to confront both dreams and shadows, and the discipline to engage regularly with what has been brought into form. When the soul is given an image, it begins to orchestrate the unconscious, aligning energy, intuition, and creative potential toward manifesting that vision in the world. Those who hesitate leave their destiny to chance, but those who translate inner aspiration into tangible symbols activate a process in which both conscious and unconscious forces work in harmony. The future, then, is not a distant event waiting to unfold passively. It is constructed by those who honor the soul's messages, give them shape, and commit to bringing them into lived reality. To give your soul an image is to claim agency, to align intention with inner wisdom, and to step boldly into the creative co-authorship of your own life. So, let us step into this ritual of creation, not as dreamers lost in fantasy, but as conscious architects of the self. Let the vision board be your compass, your lighthouse, your fire in the night.